Step number one is never judge the day by the weather. Now that sounds like a very simple thing, but suppose the weather is miserable. Does that mean you're going to decide to have a miserable day? That doesn't make any sense, does it? And yet a lot of times when I'm talking with people, I'll say, how you doing? Well, they'll say, you know, with this weather, what can you expect? As if the weather was the only factor. I'll never forget when my beautiful middle daughter was born. Dreary, bitterly cold, cloudy, overcast, snowy day. Oh, it was an ugly day. But do you think when I looked at that beautiful daughter of mine that I had any concern about the weather out there? Step number two, you need to learn to look for the good in other things and in other people. Now that's very, very important. Forbes magazine had a most intriguing article. They were talking about successful entrepreneurs. And in this article, they point out that an incredibly high percentage of those entrepreneurs make their money in a new location. Now, the new location did not matter whether it was north, south, east, or west. It did not matter whether it was rural or urban, but they invariably, or oftentimes I should say, made their money in a new location. Now, why is that? Very simple. When they go in the new town, they are the new area, they're not familiar with the bureaucracy. They're not familiar with the problems. They don't know the things which cannot be done. They go in with extraordinarily high expectations. And expectations in life, ladies and gentlemen, are so important. You see, you're going to find what you are looking for. We have a seminar in Dallas which people attend from all over the world. We try to get the corporations and other people to send husbands and wives together because our research indicates that if the team functions together, they both will do better in whatever it is they do. There's one company sent in 4 couples. We have a little process whereby we separate the people into little groups. So one section of where we got about 8 or 10 people, another one where we got about 20 people, and then we have the general get-together 3 times a day. Well, in the individual groups, they do a lot of role-playing and participation. They're very busy. And every time an individual says or does anything, the other members of that other group write them a little note that says, I like Gene Smith because. And then they use some specific observable behavior that they like about it. At the end of the 3 days, each one there will have from 1 to as many as 200 of those little slips. You're talking about motivators, people get excited about it. Well, these 4 couples really got turned on, and we finished at about 8:30 that evening. They went out the first night to a very late dinner at one of Dallas's finest restaurants. They hit the jackpot with a waiter. He had been there over 20 years, been a waiter over 25 years. He was professional in every way. He was there when he was needed, but he did not join the party. He was friendly, but he was not familiar. At every need, he was there. He was really great. There was a lot of interchange. They got his name. When they left, because he had contributed so much to the enjoyment of the evening, they left him a 25% tip, which is significant in a very expensive restaurant. Also, each one of them wrote him one of those little slips of paper, I like because. And they walked out the front door. They'd gotten about 100 feet when they heard his voice from the rear saying, wait a minute, folks, wait a minute. And it was the waiter running up to them. He was waving those 8 slips of paper. He said to them, you know, I've been a waiter over 25 years. I've been here over 20 years. And then he broke down. And they said he could not talk for what seemed like forever. It probably was no more than a minute. He finally regained his composure, and he said, you know, this is the nicest thing that has happened to me in 25 years as a waiter. He said, I'll never forget tonight. And he turned and walked away. Calvin Robert says that there are over 3 billion people on the face of this earth who go to bed hungry every night. But he says there are 4 billion people on the face of this earth who go to bed hungry every night for some sincere, honest appreciation, a compliment, if you will. The waiter story has 2 bottom lines. Bottom line number 1, Wouldn't you love to have been at the next table that waiter served? Don't you know they got the best service anybody has ever gotten in a restaurant since restaurants opened to serve the public? But the real bottom line, and the real reason I tell the story is this. The waiter said it was an occasion he'd never forget, the most important event of his 25-year career as a waiter. His benefits are enormous. But as great as they were, every last one of the 8 received an even greater benefit. It's absolutely true, folks. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want.